Hi, Dr. Jeremy Heyman here and at Cornerstone Naturopathic, and I'm going to take a few minutes today to talk to you about skin health, sun exposure and safety, and skin cancer. So, perfect time of year to be talking about this. I'm looking at my window here in my office, beautiful skies, sunny, mild temperatures, and I don't know about you, but I've been outside as much as I possibly can, especially on weekends, going to the beach, enjoying the ocean, enjoying the sun out there, and I really want to be mindful of maximizing my health benefit of being out in nature and in the sun. But at the same time, of course, the biggest thing these days is protecting our skin from the sun. So we want to minimize our risk of overexposing our skin to the sun, minimize the potential for sunburns, and then minimize those long-term potential impacts of sun overexposure. And when it comes to skin cancer specifically, the numbers aren't fantastic right now. They're approximately 1 in 5 in North America, which means that 1 in every 5 people will be diagnosed with some form of skin cancer over the course of their lifetime, whether that's like an aggressive type of skin cancer, like a malignant type, benign type, which is a less aggressive type. At some point, 1 in 5, which isn't great. So what we want to do is minimize our risk. I'm going to do 2 to 3 videos in total on skin health and sun exposure and skin cancer. And the first one today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about differentiate the difference between the different types of UV rays that we actually expose ourselves to from the sun. And so we have 2 types. We have UVA and UVB. UVB is actually the more health promoting type of ray, but it's also potentially as or more dangerous as the UVA rays. UVA specifically is the most abundant type of UV ray that we expose ourselves to from the sun. So from morning to night, it's always there. And the UVA overexposure has the impact on our health in terms of the photoaging processes. So wrinkling of the skin as we age, and just overall sun damage and skin aging, from the sun. The other thing that UVA has an impact on as well, if we're overexposed to it, is our immune system. So there's good research out there that clearly states that overexposure of this type of UV ray actually can depress and negatively impact our immune system. And then on top of that, because it causes aging of our skin and so on, it's also damaging our cellular DNA. So it has some negative impacts there as well. But research is also showing that not only does it have an impact in terms of our aging of our skin, it does actually have a link to increasing the potential of skin cancer. Now UVB, on the other hand, UVB is the least abundant type of UV ray, so that's where you hear out there, stay out of the sun between 10 and 4 because the UVB is at its highest, and before and after that, UVB is present, but not quite as intensely. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later. And UVB is what provides the potential for creation of vitamin D. So if you're exposing yourself to UVA rays, there's no potential to create any vitamin D in your body. It has to be UVB. So that's the very valuable health promoting part of UVB rays. However, the detrimental part is overexposing yourself to UVB rays. That's what causes sunburns. So that's the type of UV that causes sunburns and skin damage that way. And it's very, very closely linked to increased risk of cancer. So the research out there has stated that as a child, if you've had 5 or more sunburns, that doubles your risk of skin cancer. And what I want to actually kind of focus on a little bit more is what can we do to mitigate our risk. And a lot of the discussion over the years has been, well, when you're a child, that's where you get the majority of your sun exposure and potential sun damage. So once that happens, there's nothing that can be done. Newer research is actually showing that as kids, we're only exposed to 25% of our cumulative sun exposure over the course of our lifetime. So 75% of the sun exposure, potential sun exposure, occurs during adulthood. So that just means that we have the potential to healthfully mitigate the risk and balance our time in the sun. And then if there has been any damage, we have all that time to be able to remedy some of that damage that we've caused maybe from earlier years or as adults as well. So quickly back to UVA and UVB rays. When it comes to sunscreens, So you can put as much sunscreen on your body as you like at any time of the day. And for the most parts, most sunscreens do not block UVA rays. So UVA rays are prominent all day long as the sun is out, and clouds as well, because it does penetrate clouds, so it goes right through clouds. So we have a bigger risk of being overexposed to UVA rays versus UVB. And I'm sitting in my office here, beautiful outside. I'm still being exposed to UVA rays because windows and glass does not block the UVA potential to come through and still hit the skin. So I'm being exposed right now to the UVA rays. When I'm in my car driving, unless my windows are properly tinted, I'm being exposed to UVA rays as well. There's been some really good, interesting research stating that they were looking at some skin cancer cases, and 70% of those skin cancer cases were actually diagnosed on the left side. And here in North America, we drive on, we sit on the left side in our car, and we're exposed with the UVA rays to the left side of our body. So they're trying to connect the possibility that UVA rays and overexposure may actually increase our risk of various skin cancers. Now, UVB rays, on the other hand, those can be blocked primarily through sunscreen. So if you're putting sunscreen on, UVB rays are being blocked, so you're doing a good job that way. The downside is you're not allowing your skin any potential to create vitamin D. There are some sunscreens that are broad spectrum, which means that they will protect you from both UVA and UVB, but that's a matter of going out and making sure that it says broad spectrum and says right on the label there, protects from UVA and UVB. So the takeaway here in today's video is, there's various types of rays. There's some that are healthier, some that are not quite as healthy. We need to be able to mitigate and moderate and balance the exposure to both, but not overexpose our skin to it. And then eyes is a different conversation as well as far as impacts, but we won't get into that today. So what we need to look at here is moderating our exposure to UVB rays and trying our best to mostly avoid UVA rays, moderating our sun exposure overall to healthy levels, and also remediating any UV damage that we've caused our skin or our health in the past, and then take proper measures to protect our skin at this point now moving forward, while at the same time trying to balance the health benefits of being out in the sun. So the secret insight here that I'm going to talk about on my next video is antioxidants. So whether it's on the skin or orally, this plays a major factor in terms of skin protection and skin remediation and remedying the ill impacts of overexposing yourself and your skin to the sun over the course of time. So we'll talk on that next time. Hopefully you found this valuable and get more insight on my next video on skin health, sun exposure, and skin cancer.